Hello all. Today we're going to understand the concept of virtual memory in the operating systems. So to understand that, let's know, according to the book of Kelvin, virtual memory is a technique that allows the execution of processes that are not completely placed in the memory. So, like, to understand this concept, we need to study some background. What is that? Okay, before going to that, the objective is to describe the benefits of a virtual memory system, explain the concept of demand paging, page replacement algorithm, and allocation of the page frames, and to discuss the principle of working set models. So today we're going to understand the benefits of virtual memory. Now, according to Galvin concept and what virtual memory is like, before to this topic, we have studied certain memory management algorithms like paging and segmentation, where we have studied that how we place an entire program which is to be executed inside the memory using the logical address and the physical address mapping, or we translated the logical addresses into the physical addresses. Why? Because the basic concept of operating system is like, whenever a program or a job is to be executed, it is to be first placed in the ready queue, which we what we call as the main memory, or we also refer it to as a RAM. Okay, so whenever we need to execute a job or a program, it is to be first placed inside the RAM completely, and then it is called a process. And when this process is being completely under the process of execution, we call it as a process execution. But here, with the help of virtual memory, concept, what we are going to understand is that without placing this entire program inside the main memory, we can execute this particular program. This is the very important factor of virtual memory. What how it does is like, it separates the user logical memory from the physical memory. What does this exact sentence means? It your physical memory may be a small size of memory, but we are going to convert it into an abstract manner and make it a larger one. Okay, that we are going to do in this concept. Why? Anyways, implementing virtual memory is not that so very easy, but let's understand the benefits of this virtual memory. So the one major benefit is that the programs can be larger than the physical size. Means it means the same, that we can have only a part of program inside the main memory, and the other part of the program which can be left apart, and what is required for the execution, the part of the program which is being required for the execution, should be placed in the memory. That is the first thing. Now second thing is what virtual memory abstracts the main memory into a extremely large memory, into a uniform array of storage, separating logical memory as used or as viewed by the user from the physical memory. Next point is what it allows processes to share file easily and to implement the share files. Now here is what I want to say is, here the files which are having a mode of sharing, okay, files which are individual, they cannot share with each they cannot be used by the same they cannot be used by the two processes at the same time. Those are not called as the shared resources, I can say over here. Only the things which are in the shared part is considered that two or more processes can access that particular resource at a time. Okay, so that is what is called as the shared part. So here the shared memories can be shared shared resources can be used by the two different processes at one particular time. This enables you more efficiently. Okay, and also the last benefit I can see is virtual memory is also the one which provides you an efficient mechanism of process creation. Now, the virtual memory can be implemented via demand paging and demand segmentation. So let's have a diagrammatical look for all of these things. Virtual memory that is larger than the physical memory. In this diagram, you can see there is a virtual memory part where we have pages from page 0 to page V. Okay, page 0, page 1, page 2 till page V. And there is one log we have in middle, that is the memory map. Okay, this memory map is mapping the physical memory with the virtual memory. Now this is the entire logic here in the memory map where we are going to implement the demand paging. This is what we are going to implement. So you can see that this is a disk, that is the secondary memory. Then you have the physical memory, which is and the virtual memory, which is being mapped to the physical memory. So this is the separation of physical memory and the logical memory. This is what is the separation. Then we go for the virtual address space. Now we're going for the virtual address space. Before I want to mention few things that virtual, what you can see over here is a heap. Okay, heap, data and code. You know what is the heap? Heap is a certain data structure which allows you to store the data from where you can retrieve the data very much efficiently. You must have studied in your data structures that what is the heap. Okay, so this is the heap which is used to store data efficiently in the data structure, and there is a stack which is used to control the function calls. Okay, a heap is used to store the data and the instruction, and there is a stack which is used to handle or control the various function calls. Now this heap which is allowed to move upwards, that means what, this particular line for heap, above this arrow you can see which is moving upwards can have certain, this is the free space. Here the free space, in this free space the heap can move upwards, means as in the data instruction keep coming, the heap can grow its boundaries upwards. Likewise the stack can grow its boundaries downwards when it needs to handle certain function calls. So you can see the things are starting from 0 to the max. You can see that. So there is a heap and there is a stack to control the storage of data and also to manipulate or control the function calls. Now this free space between the, which is of blue color, it is called as a hole. A hole, why it is, as in the operating system where you have a free memory location, that is called as a hole. Particularly when we talk about virtual the address space, we call it as parse. When we typically talk about virtual address space, it is called as sparse, and this sparse is very much beneficial when heap and the stack wants to grow individually. And this free space, what you can see is requires the physical pages. These free space actually need to be mapped to the physical address space whenever the heap grows or the stack grows. So this is what is virtual address space we are talking about here. We need to understand it very well before going to any of the concepts of virtual addresses. Next, we can see what we can see over here. The third point where we talk, the second point where we talk about sharing of files. What you can see over here is there are two address spaces on the left side, on the right side, and there is a shared library. Okay, this shared library, now this, the middle part, the shared pages. Now this shared pages are being used by the left side address space, virtual address space, and also by the right side virtual address space. But this is only a single one. This library is single in actual, but this library is being used by both of the virtual address spaces. How is this possible is like, now this shared page is present inside the physical memory itself. Okay, it is not in the left hand side virtual address space, also not in the right hand virtual address space. It is in the physical memory present, But then both of